Kalanchoe flower plant is an easy to grow succulent flower plant that have very beautiful and long lasting flowers. And in this video we will discuss in depth about Kalanchoe flower plant care. I will discuss every useful thing like its fertilizer, growing season, propagation and so on. So keep watching this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Kalanchoe plant is a winter's perennial flowering plant that is native to Madagascar and Africa, where it's grown as a decorative house plant. It's basically an outdoor plant but can be grown indoors because it don't require so much of special care. It's a very easy to grow plant that also produces very unique and beautiful flowers. They also have bicolor flowers, but they are a little more sensitive than the common variety. Kalanchoe plant is a little toxic plant, so try to keep it away from pets and kids. Commonly it's called as Christmas Kalanchoe and it's available in almost all nurseries, especially in winters. For growing Kalanchoe plant, you can buy it from a local nursery. Their propagation is also super easy. You can simply use a small stem cutting and propagate it. Detailed guide on Kalanchoe plant propagation is linked in the description box. And once you have this plant, follow these care tips to get most out of them. The first and the most important thing in Kalanchoe flower plant care is understanding their growing season. If you grow a plant in the right season, the growth will be maximum. The ideal conditions make the growth effortless. Kalanchoe plant have an ideal temperature range of around 15 to 29 degrees Celsius. And in this temperature range, it continues to grow very well. Its growing season starts in the early winters and continues till ending springs. But as soon as the day temperature exceeds to 29 degrees, the plant becomes stressed and go under dormancy. During the hot summers, the plant shows no growth and it's also better to keep it in a cool shade so it can pass the summers healthily. Also in the dormancy time period, water very less and don't fertilize it so much. And this way you can keep this plant surviving for years with the time to time flowering. So the season is just ideal to grow Kalanchoe plant. So what other things matter now? One of the big things that works as a secret growth booster is your soil mix. If the soil mix of Kalanchoe plant is good enough, the growth will be very healthy and fast. A good soil mix will negate the chance of all the moisture related issues in just one go. Stem rot, root rot, powdery mildew, fungus, shock and stunted growth etc. All of them are somehow connected to your watering habits and your soil mix. So if we correct this, no such issues will appear again. Ideally, Kalanchoe plant likes a well-draining and loose mixture, a soil mix that retains very less moisture inside of it. So to make such a mixture, you can follow a homemade recipe linked in the description box and I button. Must check it out and subscribe to our channel. Kalanchoe plant is a succulent that have fleshy leaves with a lot of moisture, so they can survive without a single drop of moisture for weeks, but overwatering for once won't let it grow. So here learning the right way of watering is also important. For Kalanchoe plant, moisture is its biggest enemy. Just let the top layer of soil to dry out completely and then water. Don't water over a moist soil mix and also make sure the drainage holes are opened. Another important thing in Kalanchoe flower plant care is the size of its pot. Kalanchoe plant is a hardy succulent that don't have a complex root structure. They can be grown in any medium-sized container. Make sure the roots are not congested in a small-sized pot. Around a 5 to 8 inches of pot is enough for this plant. One thing you can do is that choose a clay pot or a fabric grow bag as they have an excellent drainage system unlike the plastic pots. Some of them are also linked in the description box if you like to buy. Another important thing in Kalanchoe flower plant care is its sunlight requirement. Kalanchoe plant is a flowering plant that produces bunches of buds and flowers in its growing season. But this thing will never happen if the sunlight is not good enough. The whole budding and flowering health of a plant totally depends upon the season and sunlight. The ideal amount of sunlight for Kalanchoe plant is around 3 to 5 hours and more than that can work even better. But not the killing sunlight of summers. It's a cool area plant that likes winter sunlight. You can also place it in a bright light area or in indirect sunlight. But the flowering will be maximum in direct sunlight. So make sure of a sunny area and subscribe to our channel. Another very important thing in Kalanchoe flower plant care is its proper fertilization. Fertilizer is not a primary thing for inducing buds and flowers, but it do enhance the whole flowering of a plant. Kalanchoe plant is a light to moderate type of feeder that can survive well on any good fertilizer. Make sure the fertilizer is a complete fertilizer containing all the essential nutrients. Don't worry, you can make it at home using only a few ingredients. Video on this flower fertilizer is added in the description box and I button. Must check it out and fertilize your Kalanchoe plants every 2 weeks in its growing season. So if you follow these simple things, your Kalanchoe plant will be very healthy and growing. But you may find problems like stem or root rot, which happens due to your soil mix, elongated and laggy growth which occurs due to less sunlight, less flowering or small size flowers which is connected to your fertilizer etc. So overall follow this guide carefully. And to learn about secrets of inducing flowering on any plant, follow up this ebook. It's also added in the description box to buy. Pest related issues are not so common in Kalanchoe plant, but if they appear, you can use Neem spray. Just keep an eye on your plants. So it's all about Kalanchoe flower plant care. To explore some of such other winter flowering plants, follow up this guide and do subscribe to our channel.